Jimmy Jacobs to start things off as Husk covers rock as the tag team championship is on the line. Whitmer and Jacobs to defend against Loc and Devito, the Carnage Crew. Of course, Jacobs and Whitmer became tag team champions during the month of April while Loc and Devito were on the sidelines, forced into 90 days of non-activity in Ring of Honor at the hands of the Ring Crew Express. Defeated in Scramble Cage at the 3rd anniversary celebration, part 1. They have returned, as the t-shirt says, fat, drunk, and pissed off, and maybe a little bit more focused than before to really make an impact in the tag team ranks here in Ring of Honor.
They're looking to do just that with a shot at the titles here, as they're taking over on Jimmy Jacobs early on here. Nice nip up by Jacobs. First, he goes to work on the wrist and catches a big right hand in the mush.
Of course, there's a lot of history between the Carnage Crew and BJ Whitmer, involved in that war with Whitmer and Dan Moff, which culminated at Final Battle 2004 in a matchup that saw the only appearance ever in Ring of Honor of thumbtacks as Mick Foley brought them to ringside. That rivalry renewed right here, this time with Jimmy Jacobs at the side of Whitmer. And Jacobs holding his own against the Carnage Crew right here as DeVito tagged in.
Jacobs tags in Whitmer. Also going to have 2 fresh men here going at it early on. The ROH tag team titles on the line here.
2 powerhouses in that ring right now.
Contrast in styles. We've got the wrestler versus the brawler here. Tag team champs.
As good of a technical wrestler as BJ Whitmer might be, he can mix it up brawling style as well. Involved in many street fights here in ROH. With Death Before Dishonor 2, Part 2 in Chicago Ridge, Illinois. Battling with the Second City Saints. He can mix it up. Jimmy Jacobs has been known to get hardcore from time to time as well himself.
Whitmer going to work on the arm. And Jacobs giving the thumbs up on the outside. Nice roll through there and goes to work on the arm of Whitmer. Nice reversal.
And DeVito showing that he's not just a brawler himself. Whitmer and Jacobs have been excellent tag team champions, fighting champions thus far, with wins over the Second City Saints, the Embassy, of course last night against Lacey's Angels, Generation Next, you name it. Whitmer and Jacobs have taken on all tag teams here in Ring of Honor and come up with the win. Tonight the Carnage Crew is a big opportunity.
They've let it be known that they don't fear anybody who wants to take a shot at those belts. They'll take on all comers that they have since winning those titles. And it is BJ Whitmer in control right here.
Still have no word from the locker room as to whether or not CM Punk is even in the building.
Here's hoping that some common sense prevails, and he shows up to do the right thing for this company, do the right thing for business.
I don't think he's going to voluntarily do anything for Ring of Honor anymore. It's all about himself, as right now it's DeVito. I think he wants Jimmy Jacobs in that ring.
He's asking BJ to make the tag.
And the fans want to see Jacobs as well.
Looks like everybody's going to get what they want. Jimmy Jacobs in there now against DeVito.
Might be a small competitor. He's got a lot of fight in him. A lot of heart and determination. Right off the bat, DeVito going to the eyes of Jacobs and pitches him out to the floor. And out on the floor is where the Carnage Crew is at home.
Going to work on Jacobs on the floor. Referee distracted with Whitmer on the inside. They're double teaming Jacobs. Hard whip into the steel.
But this time it's the forearm of BJ Whitmer. That takes DeVito down. Loc going to work on Whitmer.
Slams his head into the table. It's broken down here early on. All 4 guys on the floor.
Whitmer head first into that table. Referee asking them to bring it back inside the ring, but there's not much he can do at this point. As now it's Whitmer into the barricade.
going the way Loc and Devito want. They want a brawl. That's their style. They just want to beat people up. If they can win the titles in the process, so much the better. And it is on the floor here now early on. Jacobs in the chair in the corner, but he's fighting back. Big right hand on Loc.
Meanwhile, Devito with a handful of BJ Whitmers there, bringing it back towards the entranceway. On that steel ramp. Oh, suplex on the ramp. That's going to take a lot out of the back of BJ Whitmer.
BJ Whitmer's back crashing down on the steel ramp.
The Carnage Crew can't win it out on the floor. He's got to bring it back inside the ring, and now Jimmy Jacobs firing up on Loc inside the ring, and down he goes.
Jacobs goes to shoot him off reversal. Hasn't been a wheelbarrow this long. And a big belly to back suplex dumps him right on the back of his head.
Jacobs was trying to go for the bulldog out of that wheelbarrow, but too much power as Loc just drove him down to the canvas. Devito tagged back in.
Drives the boot right into the midsection of Jimmy Jacobs. BJ Whitmer still trying to make his way back to the corner after that suplex on the ramp.
What's the matter, BJ?
Talking that garbage in the direction of Whitmer. And now just a flurry of punches for Jimmy Jacobs. And what agility shown by DeVito. Standing drop kick.
2 count as Jacobs kicks out. Whitmer still in the corner in a heap, struggling to his feet. Look at the pain on his face as he reaches for his back, though.
Just spits in the direction of Whitmer, and the referee tied up with Whitmer on one side of the ring while the Carnage Crew double-teamed Jacobs.
A series of right hands from both Loc and DeVito. He says that's tag team wrestling. He's right.
Vertical suplex.
Then down goes Jacobs. Loc with a cover.
Not hooking the leg, though. Jacobs able to kick out. Whitmer trying to shake off the effects of the brawling out on the floor, and again,
Spit right in his face.
drawing the attention of the referee while the Carnage Crew can go to work on Jacobs behind his back. DeVito with Jacobs into the barricade once again on the floor. Referee more concerned with getting Whitmer out of the ring than keeping his eye on the action.
I understand BJ's frustration trying to help his partner out here, but he's doing more harm than good, taking the referee's attention away, allowing both members to go to work on Jimmy Jacobs out on the floor. Whitmer's got to try and keep his cool and stay in the corner.
Double team strategy here from the Carnage Crew. As Jacobs is up on the shoulders of Loc. DeVito up top.
Big man looking to fly here. Missile drop kick off the top.
For a big man, DeVito can fly. Cover, but very close to the ropes. Jacobs able to kick out, though.
A little too much time celebrating.
Reaching for the tag, Whitmer wants in, but they've cut the ring off, keeping him away from his partner.
Sound tag team strategy here by the Carnage Crew, isolating one man from his partner and just going to work on him.
Cross faces on Jacobs.
Absolutely vicious cross faces, make it 3.
Of course, we've seen many tag teams take advantage of the small frame of Jimmy Jacobs and focus on beating him down for the duration of the contest in search of gaining the tag team championship from Jacobs and Whitmer. And every single time we see Jimmy Jacobs dig down for an extra burst of energy, that fight that's in him. Jimmy Jacobs, a very formidable competitor despite his size.
He has the heart of a man 10 times the size of his body, that's for certain.
And we're seeing him get that burst of energy right now as he fights his way back to his feet.
Firing lefts and rights. You didn't think he'd want to slug it out with a bigger man, but he's holding his own here.
Jimmy Jacobs is fearless.
But he is caught right there. This might be it. He might have new champs.
No, he's able to kick out.
Another tag by the Carnage Crew. That might be 6 or 7 now since Jimmy Jacobs has been in the ring with BJ Whitmer on the outside.
And Whitmer has had a lot of time out on the apron to shake off the effects. Well, the punishment that he took earlier on in the matchup. And again, yeah, frequent tags on the part of the Carnage Crew. Chin breaker, neck breaker. To complete the combo, it's DeVito up top.
Misses the moonsault. Jacobs able to get out of the way, and a spear on Loc. But can he make the tag?
Both of the Carnage Crew are dazed. Jimmy Jacobs needs to realize where BJ Whitmer is and make that tag. He rolls backward and tags.
There's the tag to Whitmer. Big double thrust to the throat, forearm shiver, and a big chop on Loc sends him sprawling.
BJ Whitmer going to work on both Loc and Devito. Vertical suplex. Holding on.
Northern Lights with a bridge.
Loc right there to break it up.
Reversal by Whitmer, the Irish whip. Drop down, up and over goes Loc. Big leg lariat takes him off his feet. BJ Whitmer going at it 2-on-1 here as Jimmy Jacobs still trying to recover from the beating he took early on.
Both of the Carnage Crew just driving Whitmer down into the canvas. Double team Boston Crab right here. Keep your eye on Jacobs.
Double DDT.
Uses his momentum to drive both of the Carnage Crew head first into the canvas.
All four men down in a heap.
The match taking its toll on everyone involved.
Whitmer with a powerbomb of Jacobs. There's a cover. Oh!
Powerbombing his own partner down onto the chest for extra impact.
Jacobs elevated to the floor.
He hit hard.
BJ Whitmer now in the ring with both members of the Carnage Crew one more time.
Knee to the midsection. Oh no, could we see it?
Loc's going up.
That's about as close to 3 as you can get without it being 3. The spike pile driver not enough to earn the Carnage Crew the tag team titles.
We were less than half a count away from new ROH Tag Team Champs. They think they've got BJ beat right here. DeVito's going up one more time.
Maybe trying to set up for that pile driver off the ropes. If they can get it. Jacobs, though, trying to fight for his partner here to hold on to the championship. Exploder suplex from Whitmer.
Jacobs on the apron, climbing up to the top. Headbutt. Oh, shoved to the apron and onto the floor.
Whitmer back to his feet, firing away on DeVito.
Through a table, shoved off the top rope.
But Jacobs is back inside the ring, going for the Contra Code. No! Second rope pile driver, could we see it? Oh! Just goes to show you upsets can happen anytime here